Welcome back. This is section 10.1, part 3. We are going to take a look at a graph in terms of its basic structure, in terms of how wide or how narrow the graph is. And this is going to be primarily focused on the number in front of the x squared. If this number is close to 0 on the number line, the graph gets wider, kind of like a big chip bowl. If this number gets further away from 0, like 5, 10, or 20, it gets narrow, like a very, very tall champagne glass. So, the width of the parabola is determined by the A value. And the closer the number is in front of the parabola is to 0, the wider the parabola is. So, one good thing to do is to look at our numbers, and we look at them all and we say which one of these four numbers in front of the x squared is the closest to 0. Well, the closest one is 1/8. So this one is the widest. The number that's the second closest to 0 is 1/3. The third closest to 0 is 3. And number 4 up here is the narrowest, because that number is the widest away from 0. Now, negatives or positives really don't matter, but when we do look at the negatives, we still consider which is the number that is closest to 0. Well, over here it's -1/2. So this one is the widest. As we compare the other ones, this is the next widest. Here's the next widest. Now they're starting to get narrow, and then this one is the narrowest. So as we're looking and comparing graphs, remember, if they're negatives, they are all going down. If they're positives, they're all going up. The one thing we haven't talked about this section is the impact of the C on the graph. If we used a graphing calculator, we would see, if we have an equation y equals x squared plus 3, our normal graph that looks like that is going to be shifted up 3 units because of that plus 3. In the same way, if we had a graph that was y equals x squared minus 1, excuse me, our normal graph would be shifted down 1 as we're working through this. So just be aware, the back number causes the graph to either shift up or down. So here we have down 1, and here we have up 3.